So in the previous video, we showed you how to set somebody up for knee extension. You could also do another setup for knee flexion, where you would just position them so that they are facing the Tindeq and pulling their leg back. But in these videos, we're gonna show you 6 different positions that you can do shoulder isometrics with. We're gonna go through flexion and extension, ab and adduction, and internal and external rotation. Flexion, extension, ab, and adduction can all be done from the same height and from the same arm position. You will just position them facing a different wall of the facility. When we go up to internal and external rotation, we're most likely going to need to elevate where the strap is in relation to the rogue rack or whatever system you have it on to secure it. So right here we have Erica is positioned for us to do an adduction, an adduction isometric. What you want to make sure with this is that they don't have any slack in the testing system, so you will tear it or calibrate it just like we did for the knee extension. And then whatever position you have with their arm in relation to their hip, just be consistent with that. So you can get a goniometric measurement to put them at 15 or 20 degrees. You can measure the distance from their arm to their hip. But whatever you choose, just keep it consistent so you can retest at a later date. From this position, you would ask the patient to then attempt to pull their arm into their side. And Erica, I want you to do that for me. Things that you are monitoring here is making sure that they're not leaning or putting more weight on one foot or the other, and making sure that they are not leaning or dipping their shoulders to or away from that position. For the next test, we'll do flexion. So for this, Erica, if you can face that wall, good. And we'll take a step forward, and we'll slide over towards me so that this is directly in front. Perfect. Now from this position, foot position, whatever you choose, whether they're side by side or if they have a small stagger, make sure it's consistent with whatever the retest position is going to be and with the contralateral limb. For this, I like to line the wrist up with their side pocket and have a similar distance from their hip as what they did for adduction. And then from here, Erica, you're just going to try to push forward as if you were raising your arm. Have them hold for a 3 to 5 second count as you are monitoring it on the machine. Now, Erica, we're going to have you turn and face the machine. We'll slide over so your hand is in line with the rack. I'm sorry, so you'll swing back this way. Come over towards me so your hand's in line there. And then take a big step forward so your wrist is by your side. Good. So from this position, we would test extension, where she would pull the arm back as if she was trying to bring her hand behind her body. Same distance in regards to the hand away from the hip. We're keeping a straight elbow, and we're monitoring what she's doing with her upper body to make sure she's not dipping forward or twisting or turning her shoulders as she's doing the test. The fourth and final position will be for AB or abduction. And for this, Erica, you will turn and face me. We're going to take a small step over, good, and then a small step forward, good, and a little bit closer towards me, perfect. So for this one, the testing arm's going to have to be a little bit in front of the patient, so whatever degree of flexion you are comfortable with. We're going to be mindful of hand position as to how wide it is, to make sure that we are in a plane of motion we are comfortable with and that we're not reaching across our body. And from this position, you would ask them to then try to abduct their arm or bring their arm out to the side. And with this, I would bring it down a little bit. Good. And then pulling out from there. So those 4 positions, flexion, extension, ab, and adduction. The next 2 videos will be how to do internal and external rotation.